Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode where I'm going live. I'm going to teach you how to start a bookkeeping business. My name is Zach Pasquarello. I started my bookkeeping business 5 years ago. I make these videos because I love talking about bookkeeping. I love talking about my business. And my goal is to hopefully teach you how to start your own bookkeeping business. So, in this video, I'm going to talk about my proven system for getting your first bookkeeping client in 30 days. And this will still work in 2025. And just to prove to you that I've been doing this for a long time, I'm actually going to share my screen. I'm going to show you my very first client. I'm going to show you how I got my very first client. And then I'm going to give you some social media marketing tips and some sales tips. And then we're going to do a live Q&A. So if you're watching this live, you can ask me questions in the chat. I will do my best to answer everybody's questions. I'm going to try to go live for 1 hour. I'm still pretty busy because it's October 8th. And so today is the last day of month end close. So I'm closing out all my Wednesday clients today. So I still have a lot of work to do in Harrisburg bookkeeping, but I'm going to try to stick around for 1 hour and hopefully answer as many questions as I can. So if you have questions, let me know in the chat. I will stick around as long as you ask questions, and you can ask questions about anything. Yesterday, I made a video about bookkeeping fundamentals, specifically debits and credits. If you missed yesterday's episode, it's still available on my YouTube channel, and I think it's uploaded to my podcast. I am on Spotify and Apple. You can look me up. I have the same name as I do on YouTube, bookkeeping expert Zach Pasquarello. So check me out on the podcast, or you can check out yesterday's episode and tune in every morning at 10 a.m., except for Monday. On Monday, I don't go live because I host a weekly private group on Monday at 3 p.m. Okay, so let's talk about it. My proven system to get your first bookkeeping client in 30 days. And yes, this does still work in 2025. So I'm going to actually share my screen, and I am going to share my screen from Facebook. And this is my very first client. So hopefully you can see my screen. If you can see my screen or if you can hear me, please let me know. And yeah, let's just jump right into it. So I'm going to add this to my screen here. Okay, so hopefully you can see that right there. Let me make myself a little bit smaller and the screen a little bit bigger. There we go. That should be good. So check it out. It's kind of small. It might be kind of hard for you to see. And if you're listening on the podcast, you can't see it, but check out my YouTube channel if you want to see this. But Facebook Messenger. This is a business that you can clearly see. I messaged them November 28th, 2020. And I said, this is what I teach everybody else. So everything that I teach is all based on what I've done myself. So people ask me about paid ads and SEO and Google ads and Facebook ads. I don't really have too much advice for that because I've never run paid ads before. Everything I do, everything I teach is all based on free social media marketing, specifically Facebook, LinkedIn, a little bit of Instagram, a little bit of YouTube. Okay, so check this out. Facebook, I messaged this person, hey, I'm a professional bookkeeper. Let me know if you ever need help with your QuickBooks. Cheers. And they said, that is something we need actually. This is a total stranger. And this was actually my very first paying client. So you can see here, December 2022. So I started my bookkeeping business like end of October. So it took me all of November. It took me about 30 to 45 days to actually get my first client, but it happened all because I sent this person a message. So they did not reach out to me. I reached out to them first. And that's one of the keys, especially in the beginning. I really believe you have to reach out to them first because people don't know who you are. And so this person, and side note, did you catch that? I said, hey, I'm a professional bookkeeper. Let me know if you ever need help with your QuickBooks. I used to throw in that word professional because I was so self-conscious and I didn't want to be just a bookkeeper. So I said I'm a professional bookkeeper. But now I have much more confidence, and hopefully let me give you the confidence. You don't need to call yourself a professional bookkeeper because that's not really a thing. So you could just be a bookkeeper. There's no shame, have all the confidence in the world. But that's how I got my very first client. I sent them a message in November of 2020, 30 days after I started my bookkeeping business. And then they paid me in December. They paid me for a cleanup, and then they paid me for monthly bookkeeping for a little bit. They didn't stick around too long, but they were my very first client. So my proven system to get your first bookkeeping client in 30 days, it's a 5-step process. You can't just send DMs to random people. That's not enough. That's actually the last thing that you do. You need to do 4 things before you do that. So step number one, you have to create content. And if you're struggling to create content, find inspiration. You can follow me on social media. All of my social media channels are linked down below in the description of this video. You could follow me on social media, or you could follow other people. There are plenty of other business gurus, social media influencers who you can follow, or you can just be original and just come up with your own ideas. It doesn't matter, but you just need to create content every single day. So follow me on Facebook, follow me on Instagram, LinkedIn, check out what I'm posting. Now, keep in mind, I'm promoting Zip Capital. So you're not going to want to copy word for word what I'm posting because I'm promoting my investment fund. As you can see at the bottom of the screen, I have Zip Capital that offers 8% up to 12% fixed returns to accredited investors. And if you want to learn more, there's a link in the description. You can register on my website and we can chat. But all my content is promoting that. However, it's still the similar concept. You can still see my schedule, my rhythm, the type of content that I create, how I create it, when I create it, the frequency that I create it. So I make a story whenever throughout the day, usually Facebook, Instagram, 2 to 3 posts on my story every day. And then I post a picture with a long paragraph above the picture. And it's just promoting Zip Capital. So for you, it would be a picture, and then you would talk about how you're promoting your bookkeeping business. And then I post that every morning at 8 a.m. on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. And then I make a 3-minute short video. So you don't have to do videos, but I think videos are great for building trust and building relationships because people see your face, they hear your voice, just like you and me right here, you watching me talk. It builds trust. It helps you get to know who I am. So if you want to fast track building relationships and trust on social media, create videos if you feel comfortable doing it. If you don't, that's okay too. So I make 2 to 3 story posts, 1 picture with a long caption, and then 1 or 2 just text only posts on Facebook, kind of like tweets almost, very short. And then what else do I do? That's pretty much it. Honestly, that is pretty much my social media marketing strategy. And then of course I go live on YouTube, but don't worry about YouTube right now. If you're just getting started, really all you have to do is just post to your story once or twice per day, post to your Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn once, maybe twice per day. But the key here is that you have to be consistent. That's the most important thing. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't even have to be social media marketing. It could be in-person networking events. It could be direct mailers. It could be a blog. It could be just SEO, search engine optimization for your website. It could be Google My Business. It doesn't matter what it is. Just doesn't matter what you do. You just need to do something. You need to tell the world, hey, look at me. My name's Zach. I run an investment fund. I just started a bookkeeping business. Let me know if you need help with your QuickBooks. Let me know if you want to earn 8 to 12% fixed returns on your $25,000 or more of cash laying around in a savings account. So you just need to tell the world every day. And you want to be creative. You don't want to just tell the world every day, hey, look at me. This is what I'm doing. The best thing to do is to mix it up, be educational, inspirational, motivational, and slightly entertaining. So you can be slightly entertaining and also be educational and professional and inspirational at the same time. I like to mix it up with personal posts on social media and then also business posts on social media. And recently, one of the best things that I have found for creating content is just giving life updates. I made a post last night talking about how today I'm getting a $300,000 investor into Zip Capital, and it got like 50 likes on Facebook. And I just told people like, hey, so excited getting a new investor tomorrow in Zip Capital, $300,000. And it got 50 likes on Facebook. And it's literally just giving people updates. People like to see real stuff on Facebook and social media. There's so much artificial intelligence. There's so much fake stuff, so much garbage that nobody wants to read. But if you're just genuine, authentic, and real, people really like that kind of stuff. So create content. That's my number one strategy. So creating content, and then that's not enough. You have to find prospective clients. And I do that in Facebook groups, or I do that on LinkedIn. So Facebook, LinkedIn, really efficient at finding people to connect with. And then I send 20 to 30 connection requests, friend requests every single day. I'm literally doing this right now on LinkedIn. I have LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Literally every single morning, I send 30 new connection requests to local CEOs, C-suite executives, vice presidents, and directors of companies, because I'm targeting high income W-2 employees on LinkedIn. So for you, you're going to target local business owners. But for me, I'm targeting high income W-2 employees because those are typical people who invest in a fund like Zip Capital. So create content, find prospective clients, connect with them. And then if you have time, engage with their content, engage with their stuff. Super simple. Just comment on their posts, reply to their comments if you have time. And then finally, step number 5, then you send the DM, just like I did, just like I showed you in the beginning of this video. Hey, I'm a bookkeeper. Let me know if you ever need help with your QuickBooks. Send the DM to everybody who is your friend, everybody who accepts your friend request. But the key is wait 30 days. Don't just send it right away, because you want to give your content time to work. You want to give your advertising and marketing time to work so that they get to know you, and maybe you engage with a couple of their posts. They see who you are. You're not just a total stranger. You're a stranger, but not a total stranger. So that is my 5-step tip, 5-step process, 5-step strategy. It's literally what has gotten me to this point. It got me 80 bookkeeping clients. It's gotten me $1.5 million raised in Zip Capital of other people's money. I raised $1.5 million in 8 months in Zip Capital. So if I can do it, you can do it too. All right, let's get back to the chat. Let's get to the questions. So if anybody has any questions, ask your questions now in the chat, and I will stick around as long as people are asking questions. So if you want me to keep talking, just keep asking questions. And then before we get started, I will mention this video, of course, is sponsored by Zip Capital. Check out the link in the description. I also have a lot of other links in the description. I have a course for sale that teaches you A to Z, start to finish, everything you need: bookkeeping fundamentals, QuickBooks tutorials, sales, marketing, customer service, cleanup projects. Check out my course. It's linked down below. And then I've got some digital downloads on my website. I already mentioned the private group meeting every Monday at 3 p.m. Definitely recommend, if you like these lives, you're going to love those private group meetings. It's a lot more, it's a lot closer. Everybody can share, everybody can talk. It's really good. Okay, let's get to the questions. Rose Marshall, good morning. Kathy Smith, good morning, Zach from Wisconsin. I'm in Pennsylvania. Kathy, good morning. The Marta Way, yes, we can hear you. Thank you so much. All right, Brett Klein. Hey, Zach, what is your workflow with your client that has inventory? What is expected from them, and what is the process when making a journal entry? So for my clients who have inventory, throughout the week, throughout the month, as you're recording transactions, you've got 2 options. Everything that comes in, you can either put it into inventory. So if they're going out spending money on supplies, the proper way to do it would be to put everything into inventory. And then at the end of the month, they tell you how much inventory they actually have on hand. And so then I look at the balance sheet. So throughout the month, I put everything into inventory, and then I look at the balance sheet, and then I make the adjustment. So probably we're going to need to decrease inventory because chances are they've sold some things throughout the month. So as they purchase stuff, I'm putting it all into inventory. So let's say we start the month with $5,000 in inventory, and then we purchase $20,000 worth of inventory. So now on the books, we have $25,000 worth of inventory. But they tell me, hey, I actually only have $20,000 worth of inventory. So I have to make a $5,000 adjustment. So in this example, we currently have $25K on the balance sheet for inventory. They tell me they only actually have $20,000 on hand in their store. Decrease inventory by $5,000. Credit inventory, debit cost of goods sold, $5,000. Good question, Brett. Nika, I'm so bad at this first step. The first step is definitely the hardest part. So I have a 30-day social media marketing strategy guide on my website. You can download that from my website. It will help kickstart your social media marketing. So if you're struggling, definitely recommend check that out. Heath, any tips on how to be a great bookkeeper for a real estate agent or broker? Thank you. Let me take a quick 5-second coffee break. Heath, real estate agent or broker. So there's a big difference between an agent and a broker. So a broker is going to have a bunch of agents. A broker is going to have an escrow account. A broker is going to receive escrow payments from buyers and sellers. So a broker is totally different. An agent is just a salesperson. An agent is just going to receive commission, 1099 commission, and then they're just going to spend money on office supplies, advertising and marketing, travel, meals. Really, really simple. Bookkeeping for an agent is super, super simple. Bookkeeping for a broker is a lot more complicated because the broker has an escrow account and the broker pays a bunch of agents. So the broker needs to keep track of all of their agents' pay. And so the broker is going to have a lot of 1099s to send at the end of the year. So agent, super simple. Broker, actually really complicated. So you definitely want to make sure you charge appropriately. Find out how many closings they have per month. Find out how many agents the broker has. Definitely charge them appropriately because that's going to be a big job. And you want to make sure you keep track of all their escrow payments if it's a broker. Laurie, good morning. What's up with that big number behind you? Money made, money in Zip. Yes, that is that's other people's money in Zip Capital. So I have about $1 million of my own money in Zip Capital. I have about this number needs to be updated because I just got 125,000 on Monday. I have about 1.5 million of other people's money. And then other people and like I have like an SBA loan and some other lines of credit in Harrisburg Bookkeeping. So I have 1.5 million other people's money, 1 million of my own, and then about 700,000 of other loans in Harrisburg Bookkeeping that I use for private money lending. So right now I have about $3 million lent out on real estate private money loans. And my goal is to get to 5 million this year. All right, DFOS. Hey, Zach, I've been adding a lot of small business owners as friends on my personal Facebook. That's great. Do you recommend inviting them to join my business page? Honestly, I think a Facebook business page is basically useless. I think it's good just as a quick point of reference. People can go to your page and they can see, oh, he works at Zip Capital. Let me go to Zip Capital's page. Okay, I see Zip Capital has a Facebook page. Looks legit. No red flags. But I don't do anything with my business page, honestly. So I don't know. To answer your question, I do not recommend inviting them to join your business page. You can if you want, won't hurt, but I don't recommend doing it. Let's see. Does your course include the private group meetings or any access to you if we have questions or need help? No. Unfortunately, the course does not include any. The course does have a private Facebook group. There's almost 100 people in the private Facebook group. So if you join the course, if you pay for the course, you get access to the private group where you can ask questions, and I will do my best to answer everybody's questions in the Facebook group, but I can't make any promises. So the meetings on Monday and one-on-one consultations with me are not included in the course. Those you can get those, but all of those cost extra, and those are all linked in the description of this video. Let's see, 21,621. Is it important? Did I say that right? Hopefully I did. Is it important to find a niche before starting to market your services? No, I actually recommend the exact opposite. I recommend get 5 to 10 clients first before you pick a niche, unless you 1000% know exactly what niche you want to work with. Perfect example. Take me, for example. I didn't know anything about real estate investing 5 years ago. And I actually kind of started with trucking as my niche. And I barely have any trucking clients. I think I might have 1 or 2 trucking clients now. So I had a ton of trucking clients, lost all of them because they all either went out of business or hired an in-house bookkeeper. And now I focus a lot on home remodeling companies, general contractors, and real estate investors. Not my niche, not my specialty. I know a lot about real estate. Obviously, I'm a private money lender. I've got a real estate debt fund. I do bookkeeping for a lot of real estate investors. I don't recommend picking a niche in the beginning because imagine you pick a niche and you miss out on everything else. Like, get 5 to 10 clients first, figure out what you like first, make some mistakes, meet some good people, try some things out, and then maybe you can pick a niche later. That's the industry. There's different ways that you can have a niche. It doesn't just have to be the industry that you work with. For example, I recommend to have a niche for the services that you provide and the software that you use. So I only work with QuickBooks Online. I only do bookkeeping. I don't do forecasting or budgeting or payroll or taxes or strategy. I just do bookkeeping. And then I only work with QuickBooks Online. So QuickBooks Desktop, Xero, Sage, nothing wrong with that software. I just don't work with it. So yeah, there's different ways to have a niche. Can you service all industries? Absolutely. You can definitely service all industries. Faith Sparkles Clean. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Josh, I'm taking your advice, and so far I've added about 1,500 business owners on Facebook, but posting videos of myself makes my skin crawl. starting with just pictures and text. Josh, absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with just posting pictures and text. I did not start making videos until probably a year, maybe 6 months into my business. So there's absolutely nothing wrong with just doing that. I think posting pictures is great. Posting pictures of yourself is great. If you feel comfortable, don't be afraid to post some personal stuff. If you go to a football game on the weekend, if you go to trivia night on Tuesday night, if you go to whatever you do, definitely recommend be a regular person on social media, because those types of posts do really well with engagement. You might not get a client from posting that you just went to a football game on the weekend. You might not get a client, but you're building trust. You're building relationships. It makes you look relatable. It makes you look like a regular person. And those posts do really well for engagement. So I think doing a post like that is great for the algorithm, because you post like that on Monday morning, and then Tuesday morning, you hit them with a bookkeeping tip, or you hit them with a sales pitch, and then that post is just boosted a little bit more on the algorithm because of your post from the previous day that did really well, that had nothing to do with your bookkeeping business, but it was a personal post, so a ton of people engaged with it. How this Zip Capital works. Sorry, new here. I can talk about it a little bit. So I don't want to bore anybody, because I know a lot of you are just here for the bookkeeping content. But Nika, since you asked, I will talk a little bit about Zip Capital, and I'll bring it up in a way that hopefully inspires some of you, because you all could literally do the exact same thing that I'm doing. You could start a bookkeeping business, save up some extra cash for 3 years, do your own private money lending, and then you could literally start an investment fund in 4 or 5 years, just like I did. So I started lending to real estate investors. So I had, as a bookkeeper, I had real estate investors as clients, and then I started lending to them. And the cool thing is that I had experience already underwriting borrowers, because I already had financial experience. So the whole thing about lending is underwriting, risk mitigation. And so as bookkeepers and accountants, we are perfectly leveraged to know how to underwrite. So I was requesting tax returns and financial reports and bank statements. Sound familiar? This is all stuff that we know how to do. So bookkeepers and accountants make really great underwriters, because we have great attention to detail. We understand financials. We know how to analyze and interpret tax returns and balance sheets and profit and loss. So I had $50,000 saved up, because God blessed me and my business enabled me to start and grow a very successful bookkeeping business. I was able to save $50,000. And I did my first private money loan in 2023. I lent money to one of my clients, and I knew his financials. I knew his business. I trusted him. And I basically underwrote him and said, yes, he's trustworthy and I can lend to this person. Gave him $50,000. And the key here is that it was a secured loan. So all my real estate loans are secured with a mortgage. So it's a promissory note and a mortgage, just like you, whenever you went to the bank to buy your house, I lend to real estate investors. So these are not personal houses. These are investment properties. That's very important, because as a lender, there's very specific laws lending to regular people for their homes, but the laws are very different for investment properties. So I lent to a real estate investor $50,000. I got paid back $1,000 30 days later. And I did the math and I was like, geez, that was like a 20% annual return on my cash. That was amazing. Let's do this again. And so I got an SBA loan, $150,000 SBA loan for my bookkeeping business. That freed up some more of my cash. I was able to save even more cash. And then I did another private money loan. And then in 2024, I did more private money loans. And then I started working with other people and connecting the dots, other lenders, other borrowers. And then I started Zip Capital, my investment fund. So now I have some experience. I've done 50 real estate loans. Now other people give me money. They trust me. They know me from my marketing. Same thing. They trust me. They know me with their money. I pay them 8 to 12% fixed returns. And then I use their money and my money to lend to real estate investors. I charge real estate investors 12% plus a 3% origination. So I make the difference. Just like any other investment fund manager takes money from somebody else and deploys it into other assets, whether it's venture capital, private equity, stock market, bonds, cryptocurrency, real estate, debt, mortgages. So that's what I do. So now I'm taking other people's money and lending it out, and I'm making about 10% on the spread. So once I get $5 million, I'll profit about $500,000 per year. So that's kind of my end game. That's my end goal. I'll be honest, I'm not really growing Harrisburg bookkeeping anymore. I'm strictly making these videos because I love talking about it. I want to teach you how to start a bookkeeping business, and I'm trying to spread awareness for Zip Capital. So hopefully I can teach all of you how to start your own bookkeeping business. You become super rich, and then you can invest into Zip Capital. Sorry, I'm sure that was way more than anybody wanted to hear, but wanted to explain that real quick. All right, let's go back to the questions. Peace for all. I have a list of small businesses in my area on Facebook. I have it connected to the groups. How do I market to the individual groups? You don't need to market to the individual groups. I don't post in groups. I just request people who are in those groups and they become my friend. And then I post on my own page. And then my Facebook friends, people who follow me, see my Facebook posts. So keep in mind with this strategy, it's not a get rich quick scheme. Starting this business, you're not going to get rich. I only made $55,000 my first year running my bookkeeping business. And then I made $110,000 in year two. So you're not going to get rich in the first year. It's going to take time. But if you're consistent every day for a long period of time, you will eventually be able to get clients. So I don't post in groups. I just friend request local business owners who are in these groups. Marion, is having one channel enough? I'm currently using LinkedIn. I send DMs at least 20 to 30 connections 5 days a week. I've closed clients using this strategy, but it seems kind of slow. Some months, zero. So Miriam, I recommend do the same strategy on Facebook. Do what you're doing right now on LinkedIn, but do it on Facebook as well. And then also create content on Instagram. I think you should have all three. I think all three are really great. But congratulations. I mean, it sounds like you're crushing it. You're doing what you need to do. You've already closed a couple clients using this strategy. Make sure you have a website. Make sure you have a Google My Business profile. And make sure you're doing this on Facebook and LinkedIn. And be patient. Be patient. The goal should be to get 1 to 2 clients per month. That's it. 1 to 2 clients per month. If on average, if they pay you $400 per month, and you get 2 clients per month, then that's 12 times 4. That's $5,000 per month after 6 months. That's really, really good. And then if you get a couple cleanup projects, just be patient. Marianne, you're on the right track. I promise you, you're doing everything right. You just need to be patient and just continue to do more. Here's the thing. The first year growing my business, I treated my business like a full-time job. I would legitimately work 8 to 10 hours every single day. And so we don't have that much bookkeeping to do. So I would just sit at my computer and just think, okay, I'm going to go to the gym in 1 hour. That means I've got 1 hour right now. All my emails are checked. All my messages are checked. What can I do in this 1 hour to help grow my business? And then I would just go to work. I would just do something. I would write a blog. I would scour Google Maps and find email addresses for local business owners. I would just do whatever I could. I would create more content. That's why I started creating YouTube tutorials, because I was like, what can I do in this next hour that'll increase the chances that I get a client? So you just got to treat your business like a full-time job, work 8 to 10 hours every day, and just continue to be consistent. Yeah. All right, let's see. I'm starting with the niche, but my niche is really special due to highly regulated and audited industry, a lot of complications due to the nature of the business. It's cannabis dispensaries. All right, the Martaway, it sounds like you are committed. I would love for you to keep us updated. Let us know how it goes, because I've never worked with a cannabis company. So I'm really, really curious to hear how it goes for you. Let me take a quick 5-second coffee break. Sorry, I just announced it because people on the podcast might not be able to see me. They definitely won't be able to see me. Okay, Charles, does it make sense to debit Shopify clearing and Shopify fees and then credit Shopify sales to account for the monthly difference if Shopify sales income in QBO is lower than what it is in Shopify? I don't have a Shopify clearing account. Instead, I do one journal entry to debit Shopify fees and credit income. So I don't have a clearing account, just debit Shopify fees, credit income for whatever the difference is. Because every time you get a payout from Shopify, you're getting all the income just minus the fees. So you just need to account for the fees. And that can just be one journal entry, end of the month, debit Shopify fees, credit income for whatever those fees are. Coastal Pink, do you charge a late fee for late payments? What amount do you think should be charged for this? I don't charge a late fee for late payments. I think a good late fee is 1 to 2%. That seems to be reasonable. 1 to 2%. So what would that be? So for $500, that'd be 50 bucks. No, yeah, 50 bucks. That seems reasonable. Brett Klein. No, $5. 1% is $5 of $500. That seems a little low. Maybe like a flat $35 late fee. That might be better. But either way, get your clients set up on ACH origination. So get them to sign an ACH authorization. We should not be sending invoices to our bookkeeping clients. We should be getting their bank information and pulling their payment automatically. Don't stress yourself out. Don't mess around with late payments. Get an ACH authorization and make them sign a client agreement agreeing to you pulling their monthly payment every month. Brett Klein, do you have any clients that use the payroll in QuickBooks? Yes, it's a nightmare. I hate QuickBooks payroll. What should I look for or expect to do as the bookkeeper? QuickBooks payroll, I hate it. So for direct deposit, they pay their employees individually on direct deposit. I absolutely hate it. But for QuickBooks payroll, I tell my clients, hey, if you're gonna run payroll in QuickBooks, I got nothing to do with it. I refuse because QuickBooks payroll is so difficult to work with. So I tell people, definitely recommend work with ADP. ADP is great, but you want to look out for payroll liabilities. QuickBooks enters all the payroll liabilities onto the books, and it's always a nightmare. It always seems to get messed up. So keep an eye out for payroll liabilities and just know that every direct deposit is going to come out individually versus if they were working with ADP and they had 5 employees, it would just come out as one ACH withdrawal. It is so much easier to account for. Marcus, hey, Zach, do you have to have a physical location for your business? Nope. I work out of my home office. Or can you use, personal address. So personal address to set up a Google My Business account, you can, but you need to go through a verification process. It's a little bit more difficult, but you can do it. Jessica Lynn, what's up? Do you have any issues with clients who don't send you their bank statements timely? Absolutely. All the time. It's so frustrating. Here's what I do. I have a Right Inbox set up with my Google Suite email address. So Right Inbox enables me to send recurring monthly emails. So every time I onboard a new client, first day of the month, I set up a recurring email. Hey, please send me last month's bank statements and credit card statements on the first day of every month. And then I do my clients weekly. So if you're a Tuesday client, I'll try to reconcile your accounts on Tuesday. If you haven't sent me your bank statements and credit card statements by Tuesday, then I'll send you an email. I'll say, hey, reminder, please send me last month's bank statements and credit card statements. And then I'm done. I'm moving on to the next client. And then the following Tuesday, I'll check my Excel spreadsheet. I'll check my workflow. I'll check their books, check my email. Did they send me their bank statements? No, they haven't sent it to me yet. Another email, another reminder. Hey, I asked you last week if you wouldn't mind. Really appreciate it. Please send me last month's bank statements and credit card statements. So every week, every day on Tuesday, I'm going to continue to send them a reminder. Please send me last month's bank statements and credit card statements until they do. But yes, it does happen all the time, and it's super frustrating. So view-only access, yes. I do have view-only access for some of my clients, but not all of my clients. So I do really like having view-only access, but they don't all give it to me. Probably 40% of my clients give me view-only access. It's so great. It's so helpful. I actually know a guy who forces all of his clients to give him view-only access, and that would make life a lot easier, but not all of my clients do it. Charles, for cleanup projects, how much questioning do you do on transactions that are months old? Depends on the size. If they're small, less than $100, not that big of a deal, especially if it was from last year. Come on, what are we doing here? Just throw it into an expense account and move on. But for larger transactions, absolutely. I'll ask a couple questions just to see who they paid and what they bought. But hey, looks like I'm all out of questions. So I appreciate everybody joining. Stay tuned. Tomorrow, 10 a.m., I'm going live again. And I will see you all in the next video. Let me know if you have any questions. Let me know what you want me to talk about in future live videos. And check out all the links in the description of this video. I would love for you to register on my website for Zip Capital and check out my course. Okay, we have one more question. The mental chewing gum. This is the last question, and then I really got to go. Should you do weekly bookkeeping? Yes, absolutely. Just do weekly bookkeeping. Just get into the rhythm of doing it now. That way you can ask questions to your clients in real time. Definitely recommend do weekly bookkeeping. Don't wait until the end of the month to categorize their transactions. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Do you pay for QuickBooks? No. QuickBooks Online Accountant is free. I don't pay for QuickBooks. My clients pay for their own QuickBooks subscription. All right, for real, I'm hopping off. I'll see you all tomorrow. Same time, same place. Thank you all so much.